Hold on to your hats, folks, because this movie student body kicks off with a bang. Jane, our heroine, rocks up to school looking like she wrestled a bear, or maybe just took a scenic hike through the wilderness. Her pal Merit, naturally, points out the, unique state of Jane's hair. Then, math class, the scene of epic proportions. Everyone bombs the test, except for Jane, who scores a stellar 96. Merit explodes, blaming poor Mr. Onspatch. Yes, that's his real name. She demands a retest. Mr. Onspatch, however, is having none of it. He throws down a challenge question, and Jane nails it. His point proven, Mr. Onspatch stands firm, no retest. But Merit's not giving up. She's plotting to get Jane to talk some sense into the unyielding Mr. Onspatch. Oh boy, the drama. Jane's facing a momzilla meltdown if her test scores aren't stellar. Nadia's begging Jane to intervene. Her parents are threatening to bench her from the football team. The pressure is on. Then there's Eric, attempting pull-ups with all the grace of a newborn giraffe vying for a gymnastics scholarship. Hilarious. Jane bravely tries to convince Mr. Onspatch to let them retake the test, but he's not buying it. He accuses her of sandbagging. Apparently, ditching the notebook is a major crime in his eyes. Jane insists she does take notes, but the battle's far from over. Oh boy, hold on to your hats. Onspatch, this teacher, checks Jane's notebook empty. He then hits her with this zinger. Two types of people, hammer people and guitar people. Guitar people spend ages strumming, but when the chips are down, they're begging hammer people for help. He basically tells Jane she's a useless guitar player. Jane's crushed, sobbing her eyes out. Cue Merit, her super-powered friend, who drags Jane to the principal. Jane spills the beans about Onspatch's hammer-fueled rent. The principal's bewildered, but Merit subtly reminds him, Dad's a judge. Suddenly, Onspatch's got a problem. The principal's all, action will be taken. Justice prevails. Boom. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this is a roller coaster. Our school's football game's a total disaster. We're getting creamed. Jane's terrified of the dreaded Mr. Onspatch, but Merit's got her back, says Onspatch's getting the boot. Then bam! New mascot. Not Eric, the wannabe, but Brody. Nadia's furious Eric lost out, Brody shoves her, Eric retaliates, and Brody clocks him. This Brody guy's trouble with a capital T. Later, its mission, steal the coach's whiskey. Ellis hatches a genius, or insane, plan for Friday night, but those pesky security cameras. Luckily, Jane's a hacking whiz. Friday night. Here we go. Picture this, a sneaky peek into the teacher's desk. Whiskey? Check. A note from Brody revealing a totally unexpected mascot gig? Double check. Cameras? Poof. Jane's got M disabled. Later, it's party time, school edition. A wild game of how much for a hit ensues. Jane's response? A heart of gold. She'd never kill anyone, not for all the cash in the world. Then, bam, Eric's got a case of the sudden death stomachache. He's in the loo, letting loose, when, gasp, a hammer-wielding mascot bursts in. Meanwhile, Nadia's secret crush on Eric is unveiled. She really wanted him to be the mascot. And when Eric's taking a little longer than expected, Nadia's curiosity gets the better of her. Whoa! Nadia stumbles into the washroom, only to find Eric dead. Tears. Ellis pops in, pops right back out, yelling about the gruesome scene. He's practically leaping out of his skin, screaming they gotta get out of Dodge. Nadia's heartbroken, wanting to stay, but Ellis is right, the killers still lose. Then, bam, Nadia remembers seeing Brody earlier, and those two had a major mascot meltdown earlier. Could Brody be the culprit? She grabs a crowbar, ready to smash a window, until Jane hits her with a reality check, bulletproof windows. Trapped. They're trapped like rats in a schoolhouse with a killer on the loose. But Nadia, she's not giving up. She's gonna fight. Revenge is a dish best served, well, not in a locked down school. She's itching to off Brody for what he did to Eric, but Jane's all, hold your horses. It's Friday, the cleaning lady's coming Saturday, let's wait. Yeah, right, nobody's buying that. Escape is the name of the game. Merit's team, no kill, focusing on freedom, not payback. So, naturally, they split up, always a brilliant plan. checking every door, every window, all locked tighter than a drum. Ellis suggests the vents, sneaky. But Nadia's got Brody's head on a pike, metaphorically speaking, of course. Then Ellis drops a bombshell. It might not even be Brody. Could be anyone, maybe even Mr. Henderson, the gym teacher. Apparently, his diary is interesting. Whoa, they think Nadia's a witch, right? They bully her, until, bam, the mascot shows up. Scaredy cats flee. But Nadia? Revenge is a dish best served, well, quickly, because she gets pummeled. Meanwhile, Meret's down for the count, legs gone kaput. Her friends haul her away, barricade the door, but that mascot? He's a sneaky ninja. Ellis is killed. Jane's devastated seeing her dad, but she drags Meret to safety. A library, naturally. The mascot's hot on their heels. Meret's demanding, "Where's Ellis?" Jane's sobbing, and then, the horrifying truth hits, Ellis is gone. Meret explodes, blaming Jane for this whole crazy, deadly mess. Whoa, hold on to your hats, folks. Since Jane bravely sought Meret's help after Mr. Inspatch's volcanic eruption, Meret's been cooking up a revenge stew, suspecting Mr. Inspatch is behind it all. Jane's bewildered, she didn't want to tattle to the principal. Meret, in a stunning display of self-righteousness, blames Jane, calling her nerdy, poor, and basically friendless without her glorious presence. Things escalate, Meret gets in Jane's face, Jane freaks, a push, a balcony, and bam. Meret's out of the picture. A stunned Jane, utterly drained, drags herself to math class where Mr. Inspatch, surprisingly chipper, reveals he had no hand in this crazy mess. Anything like this, but she compelled him to do it. He also says that pushing Meret away was something she should have done long time ago. Mr. Inspatch sees the talent in her. He says that Jane should never have associated with hopeless people like that. He tells her that today Jane has become someone with a hammer and she should hold on to that hammer. Then Mr. Inspatch goes into his drawer and takes out a pencil that Jane dropped in class once. He gives her the pencil back and tells her to recognize her talents. Jane takes the pencil from Mr. Inspatch, but she stabs him in the eye. Then she takes the keys and runs away. Mr. Inspatch tries to grab her, but she escapes. She opens the school doors and goes out there. She finally gets a signal on her phone. She starts calling 911, but Mr. Inspatch grabs her from behind, so Jane stabs him.